And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city. And the city had no need of the sun, for the glory of God did light it. And the nations shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. Mount Carmel, the mountain of the Lord, immortalized by the prophecies expressed in the Holy Scriptures of the past, will remain the cynosure of the eyes of the Baha'i world forever. With the revelation of the tablet of Carmel, Baha'u'llah caused its further efflorescence and provided the charter of the world center of his faith, calling into being a divine civilization. The followers of Baha'u'llah around the world, under the direction of the Universal House of Justice, are fulfilling their glorious destiny by raising spiritual and administrative centers of world-shaking, world-embracing, world-directing significance. While immersed in their spiritual experience, the pilgrims to the Holy Land are eager to obtain first-hand information about this mighty enterprise on the hill of God. In response to this interest, Mr. Faribor Sahba, project manager of the Ark and Terraces, and architect of the Terraces, shares with the pilgrims information about these projects.
You know, friends, it's now almost 7 years that I am involved in these projects. Days and nights I had taught, contemplated, and researched about every aspect of these projects. And I was reasonably sure that I know enough about the projects. But I should admit that the message of the House of Justice, January this year, was a pleasant surprise to me. I realized there are so many very delicate aspects that I had missed. And I realize how much we have to contemplate and think about these divine developments. In this message, House of Justice talks about a process which started with that minute that Baha'u'llah revealed Tablet of Carmel. When I was reading this, I couldn't help but to think to myself that with every word that Baha'u'llah revealed in this tablet, with every word, he released resources, power, and somehow we got our share from the duties that is to be done. I feel we have been blessed by Baha'u'llah himself being appointed to do certain tasks in these projects. Your task, the Baha'i world, is the owner of these projects, is the builder of these projects. And I can say with full confidence that this is not just a claim, but it is a reality. I can say this from the sacrifices, the concerns, the attention, and full support of the Baha'i world that we receive through correspondence and communications, and I receive a copy of all of them. And it's really a source of inspiration for all of those who work on these projects. This is your task. My task is to design the Path of the Kings, Terraces of the Shrine of the Bab. This is really completion of the City of God. And project management of the Mount Carmel projects, which includes Ark projects and Terraces together. And the task of the design of the Ark projects is responsibility of almost 23 consultants from different parts of the world, with my dear friend, Mr. Hussein Amanat, as the architect of the project, who with his team is with full concentration and devotion are working on production of the drawings and design, and they send it to us from Canada, and we are going to build it here with your full support.
Mr. Hussein Amanat, architect of the seat of the Universal House of Justice, was entrusted to design the 3 remaining buildings on the Ark.
Altogether, you have 5 prominent buildings around the Ark. And these buildings have classic pavilions outside them, but in the basement, they have lots of levels that are hidden under the ground, because the most important principle of the design here was that the beauty of the gardens and the dominance of the gardens would be always kept. And the buildings are really elements to decorate the gardens. They are pavilions in the gardens.
The buildings on the Ark have been designed in the classic style of the Greek order, in harmony with the International Baha'i Archives. The Guardian, with his keen sense of the aesthetic, had concluded that a contemporary style may not prove appropriate for the buildings on the Ark, which must last for at least 1,000 years. The classic style has withstood the ravages of time, and its beauty has proved to be everlasting. In keeping with these concepts, the principle animating the design of the buildings is to provide a style maintaining coherence, bridging the span of several decades from the initiation of the projects from the time of the Guardian to their completion. The challenge was to raise buildings that were monumental on the one hand while serving a functional purpose on the other. The Center for the Study of the Texts has been designed with its back to the mountain wall and a round portico in the front. Its columns are of the Ionic order, similar to the ones in the International Archives, but taller and larger in size. There are 9 levels of the building underground, providing spacious areas for offices with plenty of natural light and view. The International Teaching Center has been designed in the round at the back, like a beautiful pergola, directing attention to the most important building on the Ark, the seat of the Universal House of Justice. The semicircular portico in the front with a vault at the top lends the building a low-profile distinction. The monumental terraces below and above the Shrine of the Bab have been designed to highlight the spiritual significance of the City of God.
Shrine of the Bab is like a precious diamond and this beautiful mountain. Terraces are supposed to provide a beautiful ring setting for this diamond. They should enhance, they should complement the beauty of the shrine. They should not be for themselves. They do not have their own character. They are just to support. They are just to draw your views, your perspectives toward the shrine, and enhance the beauty of the shrine. We have worked with geometry and with harmony, with parallel lines, with all the smooth surfaces and curved lines, with providing different reflection of light. So many different surfaces and so many different shades of light gives you such kind of calmness, such kind of feeling that you need when you reach to the Shrine of the Bab.
Abdul-Baha envisioned Mount Carmel with 19 monumental terraces from the foot of the mountain to its crest, 9 leading up to the Shrine of the Bab and 9 above it. He often referred to them as terraces of lights, lights upon lights. Inspired by these visions, detailed drawings were prepared, and a foretaste of what the terrace will look like when completed can be had from these computer graphics. Each terrace is surrounded by a series of circular, sloped gardens marked by 2 palm trees, with decorative fountains, ornamental balustrades, streams of water flowing down the sides of the central stairway, presenting a panorama of beauty and elegance. 2 beautiful bridges have been designed to span 2 streets to allow for continuity of the terraces. On Hatsionut Street, adjoining the terrace of the Shrine of the Bab, the bridge will be 50 meters in diameter, and when completed, will connect upper terraces 10 and 11. The steep grade of the mountain above the terrace of the Shrine of the Bab call for the incorporation of curved stairs alternating with a straight line for the design of the upper terraces. The uppermost terrace reaching up to Panorama Road will be linked with its promenade by a tunnel. It was an outstanding achievement that in May 1994, after years of delicate and prolonged negotiations, the town planning scheme submitted by the Baha'i World Center was approved by Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who was also acting Minister of Interior. A month later, on June 13, 1994, he made a memorable visit to the Terraces project and expressed his appreciation of its magnitude and exquisite beauty. Among many other dignitaries who have visited the projects are the Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Shimon Peres, the former President of Israel, His Excellency Chaim Herzog, and the Mayor of Haifa. Today, the projects are accorded the highest priority by the Ministry of Tourism and the City of Haifa. Outside the aegis of the faith, a development is taking place which harmonizes with the Baha'i projects. A plan for restoration of the German Templar colony and beautification of the harbor at the foot of Mount Carmel leading up to the terraces is underway. A schematic drawing on the cover of Haifa Tourism Development Plan shows a concept which, when implemented, will fulfill what Abdul-Baha foresaw to be the pathway of the kings leading right from the harbor to the Shrine of the Bab. On May 23, 1990, 146 years after the declaration of the Bab, work on the Ark and Terraces began. The occasion was marked by the visit to the Shrine of the Bab and the Shrine of Abdul-Baha by the hands of the cause Amatul Baha Rahia Khanum and Mr. Ali Akbar Fuertan, the members of the Universal House of Justice and the International Teaching Center. The construction of the Ark and Terraces projects has been divided into 7 phases. Phase 1 is the completion and restoration of the terrace of the Shrine of the Bab. Phase 2 is starting the construction on 7 terraces below the Shrine of the Bab, an excavation for the Center for the Study of the Texts. Phase 3 is excavation for the International Teaching Center, together with terraces 15 through 19 above the Shrine of the Bab. Phase 4 is the construction of the main building of the Center for the Study of the Texts. Phase 5 is the construction of the main building of the International Teaching Center. Phase 6 is the construction of terraces 11 through 13 above the Shrine of the Bab and the bridge over Hatzionot Street. Phase 7 is the construction of terraces number 1 and 2. first phase of construction began with the renovation of the main terrace of the Shrine of the Bob. Trees were relocated at the temple site, and many of them have been returned to their original location. The main terrace and its retaining wall, built during the time of the Guardian, had begun to erode and required extensive restoration. This was achieved by injecting tons of concrete and further strengthened with anchors. The main terrace was extended eastwards to make it symmetrical with its western side, which had been built by the Guardian. A storage building was built under this extension to serve as garden facilities with an area of 1,000 square meters. Now, what meets the pilgrim's eye as he approaches the Shrine of the Bob is an enhanced entrance, with gardens not only to the left, but a vast expanse of ornamental gardens to the right, with green lawns and flowers gracing the environs of the shrine. A lot of preliminary work was required before the actual construction of the terraces. Thousands of cubic meters of concrete and stone had to be used for construction of underground retaining walls to secure the earthwork and align its level with the Shrine of the Bob. The task was difficult and challenging. The mountain has not been the easiest of sites to work on. Undaunted, work has progressed expeditiously, irrespective of the many dangers posed by it. To develop the forest area extending beyond the landscaped terraces, a careful selection of trees was made, some as old as 300 years being planted so that the forest would not take considerable years to develop. The most outstanding consultants in horticulture were consulted, and an experimental garden created to test a variety of species of plants, flowers, shrubs, hedges, ground cover, and soil. The approach to the landscaping design is to enhance the character of each terrace and to blend the new terraces harmoniously with the main gardens developed by the Guardian. Tens of thousands of cubic meters of earth excavated from the sites of the Ark project were moved to the site of the terraces and later covered with trees, plants, and wildflowers. The slopes were prepared to take the grass cover on the inner zone of the terraces. In the landscaping of the first 4 terraces, 5,000 square meters of sod were grown outside on a farm and layer by layer placed on the slopes. With the topsoil and grass cover in place, these terraces now appear as lush green carpets. The basic structure of the pools is formed with reinforced steel and concrete. As work progresses, the distinctive outline of these pools becomes visible. Hand-cut and carved stones are also being prepared for decorating the contour walls of the terraces. With precision and patience, each stone is put in place, beautifying these walls. The main bridge, which spans Abba Street, named after Abdul Baha and built by the Guardian in 1935, had weakened in structure with the passage of time. It was demolished overnight to make way for a new construction. The next day after its demolition, its construction began. Since Abba Street is a busy thoroughfare, every effort was made to expedite the construction of the bridge. This is the bridge which connects terraces 4 and 5. The new concrete structure is now complete, and most of the masonry work on the retaining walls of the bridge has been accomplished. The site is enormous, and quality control is a constant challenge. The nature of the work on the upper terraces has occasioned the installation of net fences for safety as earthworks are being prepared. As work progresses on terraces 15 to 18, access roads have been built for movement of heavy machinery. As the challenges of the development of the projects are faced, one recalls what the beloved guardian undertook single-handedly. The beautiful gardens he laid, the exquisite structures he raised, and the memory acts as a spur to maintain the high standards he set. Adjacent to the buildings of the International Baha'i Archives is the site of the Center for the Study of the Texts. To carve a hollow niche for its building, the mountain was required to be excavated almost vertically, moving from the top to the bottom. State-of-the-art rock engineering technology and equipment were used to accomplish this laborious task. By the side of the Center for the Study of the Texts, excavation is also underway for the archive's extension. Anchors ranging in length from 13 to 21 meters were drilled into the mountain and fortified with vertical concrete beams. The retaining wall is now complete. Work on the foundation of the Center for the Study of the Texts commenced in March 1994. The site is a beehive of activity. At the site of the International Teaching Center, the retaining wall had to be built differently. Deep holes were drilled into the mountain, micro piles put in, and strengthened with horizontal reinforced concrete beams which were pinned into the mountain with permanent rock anchors. The incline of the mountain made the maneuver of heavy machinery an extremely difficult exercise. The enormity of the task in hand is daunting. Undeterred, the projects are forging ahead. The spiritual nature of the enterprise is underscored by these words of the Universal House of Justice, addressed to all national spiritual assemblies in its letter of 4 January 1994. The projects underway on this mountain are of profound significance. They represent much more than the erection of buildings to meet the expanding needs of the Baha'i World Center. The call for contributions to the Art Projects Fund offers the followers of Baha'u'llah a providential opportunity to participate in an endeavor which is central to the work of the faith in eradicating the causes of the appalling suffering now afflicting humanity. What can lend a more powerful impetus to the efforts of the followers of Baha'u'llah in every land than this emphatic pronouncement by the Lord of the Age? I am the royal falcon on the arm of the Almighty. I unfold the drooping wings of every broken bird and started on its flight.